Hello folks, LA Little here today looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin been on a downtrend for a while on the daily chart. We just broke on the weekly. What does that tell us? What is that? If Bitcoin's a precursor to the market, certainly if it's a precursor to what's happening in the more speculative space of the market, what does it tell us? Well, it's probably not a good thing. So let's take a look here. So if I go over here, here's the daily downtrend. You can see it clearly. All these attempts to hold swing point lows fail, right? Every one of them, all the way down. They just keep failing. That's a downtrend, right? You get yeah. I mean, this is the great thing about neoclassical compared to classical, right? Here's a higher high. Classical will tell you that the trend's changing, right? But that's not really the case, right? You're getting breaks of swing point lows. So anyway, going back to what I really want to tell you, and that has to do here with this time frame, and that is the weekly. Bitcoin just broke. It broke on the weekly. It broke right here. That's the break of this swing point low that you see over here. Now what is it doing? Well, it's coming into a bullish retest region. Usually about the first third on the first trip back, which is the case after 6 bars, it's going to get a bounce. And where's it going to bounce to? Well, it's going to come into what was just broken, which is the retest region bearish. Usually that's going to see about 2/3 of a bounce, which is this line I've drawn in here. And so you would expect somewhere between here and here a bounce to. That would be normal. Now, what would be abnormal is to actually get higher and break out of that bearish retest region. More than likely, it's going to regenerate to the downside, which is going to bring it in the second time here and potentially break. Now, even if it doesn't, and I'm going to take all this off now, even if it doesn't, you're going to get a situation where a bounce here, right, that turns. And actually I drew that in a little bit too far. Let's draw it again. So a bounce here, somewhere in here, that turns and comes back. What is it going to give you? Well, it's going to give you that classical double top, head and shoulders type stuff that you see in the classical charts. And then this is going to be the break. And then the bigger classical top is here. Get rid of this one, get rid of that one. Now draw this in and say, okay, now you came down here, you got your bounce, you turned back down, and then if that bounces up, right, you potentially hold, but this becomes your right shoulder, and a break here is a bad thing. As a matter of fact, a break there targets this swing point low, and that happens to be the bullish retest region, which will be another bounce. So Bitcoin is going to take a while to go down, if that's in fact the way it's going. This is telling you the trend has changed. What was up, no longer up, folks. It's sideways at best, potentially down, and that's a big change. That hasn't happened all the way up. And so Bitcoin, if it's a precursor of what the market's doing, we got a problem. And those problems, tops, don't happen overnight usually. They usually have a distribution. If I go back to the chart here, this part up here is all distribution, right? This, matter of fact, even more. And if it bounces, that will be distribution. That's the way that's the way tops process. And that's Bitcoin. And that's what it's telling me, at least. Hopefully it's telling you the same thing. Have a great one. If you like what I do, give me a like, give me some feedback. I'll appreciate it. Take care. See you next time.